living in Wandsworth changed. I came to Wandsworth between 72 and 74. I came to Wandsworth, and like I said earlier, it's about the community. The demographics have changed in all the time. You know, you had and it's really interesting. You had the influx. You had I'll use the word influx. Yeah, the influx of the Asians in the early 70s. Then you had the late 70s. You had the other parts of Africa, where you had like the Eritreans, you had the Ghanaians, you had the Nigerians all coming in, and then you had the 80s, and in the 80s you had the Europeans. You had the Russians first, then you had the Europeans in the late 80s into the 90s, and after that, as in now, you got the new influx of the Asians, as in the Indians and the Pakistanis, because there's a new generation of those. You've got the Turkish, and you've got the Chinese. And the next step now, going forward into 2020, will be I forgot the Brazilians. Yeah? Going forward 2020, you have the new Americans coming.
New Americans?
Money Americans.
Okay.
Yeah, that's next. That's the next thing going. Money Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the pound and the dollar, they get more for their money. They get more for their money. So you're going to get the new influx of the rich Americans. This is just Wandsworth I'm talking about, because you now got the American embassy in Wandsworth. Yeah, and Wandsworth's always been a conservative borough.
Quite right.
It's perfect for people of America. They got their little pocket already, and it's only going to expand out. Because you know, as it happens, you drop the pebble in the middle and the ripple comes. And the pebble in the middle in the city of London was the Arab money. Well, that's not coming anymore. The Russian money, that's not coming anymore. And you got the new powers, the Asians, the Brazilians, and the Chinese and the Russians, the BRIC countries, big BRIC countries. So the effects of that is, what's happening now is the austerity that's been going for 19 years that people ain't talking about is a direct result of what Giuliani done in America with New York, which is anybody who ain't working can't live in our town. But first we've got to get rid of the people that are there that ain't working already. So you put austerity in. And with austerity comes, always at the bottom of the barrel, is the people of African descent. So once you get rid of those, which is social housing, they have to go. And after the social housing goes, which is what's happened already, then you get rid of the public utilities, which is the police, the fire brigade, the public services, then that goes. So you have to have private, and only rich people can afford private. So therefore, the pebble's been dropped in 2000, 2001. The repercussions by 2021 is that a lot of people who can't afford to live in London won't live in London. The only problem is it's affected a lot of middle-class white people, because they can't afford to send their children to private school anymore. So therefore, quote-unquote, we're failed because we went to private school and our children can't go to private school. So you create a vacuum. So you're going to have extremely rich and extremely poor. There you go.
And do you think that because by just hearing it, so you've been a youth worker across Wandsworth.
Yeah, I've been moved more than anybody else.
So across the whole of the borough, you've been a governor in schools, so you've kind of got really your insight into the kind of social kind of population of the borough must be kind of quite.
Yeah.
You're well read, so you understand it. Yeah, and then as a DJ must mean that you kind of across different aspects of the kind of how the communities live in the borough. Sounds like you kind of got a good. And so it's interesting to see, just understand your view on that change. How with new regeneration, like the Winstanley estates being regenerated. So how do you see that affecting the communities, the kind of long living?
Right, let's deal with the word community to start with. Community is something which has been placed inside our brain. Yeah, it's something that's been invented. Yeah, if it ain't a village, it's nothing. The only community you've got is a village. Yeah, you can't have people from different faiths, different countries, different ways of life, all in the same place, understanding what a community means, because we all have our own interpretation of what community is. Now, if you're talking about the change in the Winstanley, that seed was planted years ago when they told everybody in that block next door that it had asbestos in. We all got to move. We've got to knock it down. And what they did, they went in there, they took out the asbestos, and they only let a few of them back, and then they sold the rest as right to buy. So that was the seed. Now, with the regeneration that's happening in the Winstanley estate now, it's the same as anywhere. Any estate that you see in London, it's tried and tested. Yeah, I don't have to do research on this. It's tried and tested. You have an estate of, let's say, for example, 20 blocks of flats. Yeah, you take one, you fix it up. Yeah. You fix it up, you take out 75% of the people that's in there and you put them elsewhere in the borough, yeah, for example. So you got 75% of new people coming in and they're buying, yeah. Them 75% people don't like the noise of the rest of the estate, so they complain to the police all the time. So the police are constantly coming into that estate and arresting the young people that live in there and the people that live in there, that's lived there for a certain amount of time, yeah. Because these people have paid for their property, so therefore they have more status than those who are living in social housing. Yeah? So you do that once there, then you build another one there, then you build another one there, then you build another one there, then you move it inside, then you move it inwards. And that's what happens on every estate. So the regentrification, yeah, they can regentrify the whole estate and put the people who lived in there before back in there. But no one don't make no money there. If you don't make no money, it don't make no sense. And that's Winstanley, Patmore, Doddington, Roehampton Estate now, they're building there like it's going out of fashion. And what will happen is, the ripple is, those who can't afford to stay there, which is a lot, those who are in rent arrears, which is a lot, those who have children who have problems with the law, which is a lot, and in social behaviour, will be asked to move, and they'll be offered one property in one place anywhere in the country, and if they refuse it, they're intentionally homeless, therefore we do not have to support you. There you go. And that's happening today. It's been happening for the last 10 years or more, and it's going to happen into the future until London becomes New York, London becomes Paris, where you go in, you dip and you come out. The commuter belt. Look what's happening in the commuter belt now. Outside the M25. Everybody's moving out there. But the people who live there, they're not moving in. They're moving out. So now you can't buy it on the coast or inside the coast because they were the people that were in the commuter belt before, saying we don't want to live next door to these people. Because they're getting the money to buy people who bought them for 25 grand and now selling their property for 600 grand and buying a property for 400 grand just outside London.